Welcome to the Cognition Career, guys, and how is your quarantine? Let's see the theme of this week, that is the last of the Chronic of the Godslayer. The monsters that wants to take over the world. Oh, a little thing that I will do for this video is that at the left I will leave an honor comparison between each monster and the cultist. So let's start. The worst monster of the entire game is Samel Trickster. It's a 3-power monster whose reward is 1 star and a rune. This garbage is worse than a cultist, it's more expensive and gives the same honor. I mean, its rune may be useful in some situations, but mostly this will be occupying a center spot waiting for all the other monsters to die before him giving a star. So, unless there is a very needed card that is 1 rune more than you can afford, I recommend to leave this monster aside. To fix this card for this set, I would give it 1 more on any of its rewards, or a powerless. And number 9 is another 3-power monster, this time Mephit. Its reward is 2 honor and banish a card from the center. I don't have any suggestion to fix this card, but I just dislike it. Its honor is okay for this set, but its effect isn't so much helpful. In the better cases, you can remove a card that you can't buy or kill, but your opponent can. In other cases, you can use it to excavate the top card of the center deck, but you are not gaining any real value from this. Starting with the OK monster is Wind Tyrant. 5 power for 3 honor and 3 runes, so it's the mother of the trickster. I can see the line of thought. What's next? A 4 power 2 and 2? I like this card, but trying to be objective, this card is very reliant on the other cards of the center row. In some cases, you can buy a construct that you normally couldn't afford, but in others, this card is only buying you a mystic, and unless you have luck to excavate, at late game isn't common to have a mechan available, so converting those runes into honor isn't so easy. I don't have easy to define this spot, but it is for Tormented Soul. The last of the 3-power monsters whose reward is 1 honor and a draw. Unlike the trickster, a draw is a whole new window of possibility. At the early game, these effects can be similar. Just think, if you draw an apprentice, you are gaining the same rune value. But with this, you are also cycling 1 card. And remember, cycling faster is getting the better cards earlier. However, at mid-game, Soul's effect is much better than just 1 rune. Now the deck has the cards that you have been buying. Given a not so good situation, for example, you kill this and draw an infantry, so you are losing 1 power, but you get a star on a 1-for-1 trade, so not so bad, and you are cycling that infantry. If this card gave just 1 more honor, I will put it on the 6th spot. But here is his father, Earth Tyrant. 6 power, 5 honor, 2 draws. Its honor-power relation is very good, but 2 cards seem not very worth it at all. I know that it's double draws and a bunch more honor than Soul, however, it's a lot more difficult to kill. This card requires a combination of at least 3 cards, while you can kill Soul with at most 2 cards. Obviously, if you can kill this, you should do. But the card that you draw with this effect normally don't worth the 6 power, but you can enjoy your 5 honor. Also, if you have one of the 6 cost hero, this is a satisfying kill. Starting with the good monsters is Corrosive Widow, a very nice monster that helps you to slow down your opponent at the mid game. It is 4 power that when it's killed, you gain 3 stars and makes your opponent to destroy a construct. I think that they made a good job balancing this card. The power, the honor, the effect feels perfectly balanced. This is the first card that really interacts with your opponent, and set a solid base for destroying constructs card for the game. And with this effect starts strategy thinking. Well, normally you kill it when you can, but if you can count that your opponent can't kill this, you can save this monster until he plays a construct. Just in short, it doesn't backfire you. At the number 4 is Zeron, Duke of Lies, the sub boss with the following reward. Gain 3 honor and steal a random card from each hand. So, very random 6 power monster that can go from a little bad to insanely good. Let's suppose some cases. If you steal an apprentice, then the honor gained will be just 3, so not really good, and the effect gained isn't as well. But stealing a 1 honor card, for example a wolf shaman, is giving you 5 honor total. 3 for the brute reward and 2 for the shaman, that is 1 for acquiring it and 1 that you discount from your opponent. With that logic, we can think that stealing a 2 honor card is gaining 7 honor, that is paying more than the power invested. Then, if you steal a rocket carrier, you are gaining twice the honor than the power expended. Not to mention with even heavier constructs. Once I win a game by 4 points, stealing a link device, so that's even worth 17 stars. I should lose that game, but 1 victory more from the home. All that was just talking about the honor. The effect is also very good, and shares a similar comparison. Stealing a card is going +2 in card advantage. 1 more for you, and 1 less for the opponent. Just this time you are risking to add bricks to your deck, but it's completely assumable. Stealing an apprentice isn't good, but your opponent could need it for that turn, and it's really unlikely to steal a militia, because they are only 2 and are the first target to vanish. Then, a shaman is a +2 in cards and a free rune, and for a 2 honor example, ascetic is +3 in cards. Well, I think that you already understand the point. Finally, all that was just for a 2-player game. Having more opponents increases the odds to steal at least 1 good card. This monster in other set would be completely broken. Okay, enough from Seren. Now move to top 3, with Sea Tyrant. It's a 5 power monster that gives 5 honor and forces your opponent to destroy all but 1 construct. This is the best, if not the only card to make a comeback in this set. On average, a construct should stay 3 turns producing resources to pay for its playing value, not for its cost, rather for playing the card. For example, compare Yggdrasil Staff with Demon Slayer, 2 cards with the same rune cost. You need to keep the staff 3 turns to make it worth it for playing it. After that, each turn is a surplus, so the effect of this monster is for destroying the cards that keep adding free value to each hand, and also making the rival to waste another turn of playing the same constructs. Also, you are making sure that you are the bigger threat for these monsters. However, if your opponent has no construct, this isn't giving you any additional value, but a 1-for-1 honor power relation is already gratifying. At the second place is Avatar of the Fallen, the boss of the set. He has 7 power and his reward is 4 honor and a free card from the center row. So after killing this boss, you can kill another monster and think this card as 4 free honor. Or get a card, normally a mechanic construct or an expensive hero, in which case you are transforming those 7 power to runes. That is a really nice trade, knowing that runes are harder to obtain than power, plus 4 extra honor. The biggest problem with this card is that being so hard to defeat makes it a late game monster, and with that comes the fact that you will not use the new card more than 1 or 2 times before the game reaches its end. A lesser problem is that this card relies on the center row, but commonly the biggest cards are stuck there, so the majority of the time you are getting something worth it. The best monster, that maybe I overestimate, is the Mistake of Creation. Name that would be more accurate given to Summer Trickster, but here we are. 4 power, 4 honor, and 2 effect. One that lets you vanish from the center, another from your own discard. Its effect is nowhere near to the Fallen, but is so much easier to kill that makes it very good for the early game. And its effects are also for the early. Nice synergy there. You kill this card, get a bunch of honor, then banish a card that you don't want your opponent buys, and you accelerate your deck. It's too much for just 1 card, but it doesn't feel so broken too. Also, at late game, it not only gives a fair amount of honor, but is helping you to excavate for another monsters to gain even more honor. Okay, I'm sure that there are a lot more of possible situations for all these monsters, but I try to give the most common cases, and think in base of them. One of the strongest points of this game is that with 100 cards, the game tends to be very different from one to the other, and even good cards can be useless on a given situation. But if I helped you to improve your strategies, or just think from another point of view, reflect it on the like or dislike button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to keep you alert for the next video.